Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus AEW Dark from November 3rd, 2020. Going up against the election. Pretty crazy night, but a pretty good Dark. It was Dark episode 59. That son of a bitch was 2 hours long, and we're going 15 matches deep. A couple notable different things happened tonight that were mildly unexpected, but we're going to go over that. Remember, I use a 3-check system in matches that are what we would call squash matches, jobber matches, enhancement matches, basically matches where it is a foregone conclusion who's going to win. We're going to give a 3-check system. How it's going to work is you get the first check for the correct person being put over in memorable fashion. A second check for that person who wins to look good in the process, that this match actually enhances their career. And then a third check if the person doing the jobbing, doing the enhancing, does a particularly good job. I also pick a person or two who I think did an exceptional job as an enhancement talent. And something that's interesting to note is anybody that I've sort of singled out in the past looks like they're on the road to getting signed. So I do this really for the boys and the girls, of course, the people who are wrestling. It's really for them, but anybody is, of course, welcome and invited to listen. For matches that are of a competitive nature, and honestly, I'm not sure any match qualifies except for one. I do also do a 3-check system, but in that case, it's about the first check is for, is it a well-fought match? Second is for how good do both of the competitors look, both in victory and defeat. And a third check for, does it advance some kind of angle, however small or large, that can continue on to Dynamite. All right, let's get into it. Match number 1, Darby Allin against Bishop King. Darby Allin wins, gets the check. Wins in a different way. That little leg thing that rolls up into the pin, I thought was great. And it's not all about coffin drop, coffin drop, coffin drop. I think that's actually smart. And Bishop King, I thought, looked really good here. The best I've seen him look on Dark to date. So that's 3 check marks. See how it works? Match number 2, Brandy Rhodes and Red Velvet. Red Velvet, who I'm a huge fan of, and it looks like she's on the road to Signsville. I'm very happy for her. Against Elayna Black, who I'm super high on, and would be the most high on out of the female talent, that is enhancement talent, that doesn't look like it's going to get signed. That was KiLynn King, but we're going to see in this episode that it can't be KiLynn King anymore for a good reason. And Layla Hirsch, who is now the number 1 person who I am super high on in the women's division. She's short, she's athletic, and she brings a really different kind of thing. The two of them do a great job making Red Velvet, but especially Brandy Rhodes look good. Brandy Rhodes, no secret, not necessarily the best in the ring and often looks very mechanical. But this is one of the best outings I thought for Brandy Rhodes, except that finisher kick looks like country fried ass. It does not look effective, though it was sold incredibly effectively. Nonetheless, this match is going to get 3 checks. Brandy Rhodes and Red Velvet go over. They definitely did their level best to make especially Brandy Rhodes look great. And Elayna Black and Layla Hirsch, great stuff. I really hope the two of them are sticking around. Jurassic Express defeating KC Navarro and Danny Limelight. I don't think KC Navarro and Danny Limelight really stood out here. Danny Limelight more than KC Navarro, but really nothing exceptional. Jurassic Express, again, I've said it many times, I think Luchasaurus has one of the best hot tags in wrestling. Jungle Boy does his thing as well. Solid outing, but incredibly forgettable. I'm going to give it 2 check marks. We go to Frankie Kazarian defeating Ryzen. A big fan of Ryzen. He's a guy out of Colorado. Friend of Matt Hardy's as well, which is why I think he's here. And Frankie Kazarian has a really good match with him. It was fun to see Ryzen really get to show his stuff. He's been kind of saddled with these tag matches or 6-mans. Here, his gimmick was on full display, and Frankie Kazarian really did his level best to give Ryzen a great outing here. I really liked it. 3 check marks. Frankie Kazarian wins. Ricky Starks defeated David Dutra. David Dutra, I like him. I hope to see more of him. This was his first appearance. And, he really took Ricky Starks' shit. I mean, Ricky Starks is, I'll give it to him. He's doing a great job of just seeing like an insufferable ass. All that slapping and all that paint brushing and just a total dickhead. I like that Ricky Starks has no inclinations on looking cool, but just being a pompous piece of shit. He gave David Dutra a spot or two where Dave slapped him and really put it over. So I'm going to give this 3 check marks. Ricky Starks wins, of course, with the Rochambeau, and then joins them on commentary for a couple of matches after this. Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. This is one of those where they're a team that loses to any established team, but will beat any of the regular AEW Dark only participants, and this is no exception. They defeat Alex Chamberlain and Sean Maluda. This is a pretty even back and forth match, so it's going to get 3 check marks. I think Brian Pillman Jr., his ring work at time can be really spotty and sloppy, almost as if he sort of forgets what he's supposed to do, if I'm being honest. But Griff Garrison has become not just a solid performer, but a really outstanding one. I would guess that Griff Garrison is somebody that they will have plans for in the future. I don't know if it's that future is going to be with teaming with Brian Pillman Jr. for years and years. I doubt it. But Brian Pillman Jr. looked pretty good here. Griff Garrison looked great. And Alex Chamberlain and Sean Maluda pretty good in defeat. So I'm going to give it 3 check marks. I don't know if I can put Griff Garrison in the Enhancement Player of the Week anymore. That's a cool thing. Our next match, Anthony Bowdens and Max Caster defeating Angel Fashion and Aaron Solo. They're giving Max Caster the mic, and it's definitely amusing. It was fun to see. I'm going to call this a competitive matchup. Guys who are loosely at the same level, at the enhancement level, kind of going at it. And it was a good exhibition, though infinitely forgettable, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to give this thing 2 check marks. Certainly nothing was advanced, I guess, in terms of AEW Dark, giving Max Caster and Anthony Bowens the win, so perhaps they can lose to an established team next week. I guess that counts, but I'm not going to count it because this match, like I said, while fine, it was really forgettable. Alan Angels, number 5 of the Dark Order, defeated VSK. VSK did a great job in this match, and Alan Angels really shines. You could tell Alan Angels was a single solo star, a champion of indies in Georgia, and was happy to sort of get to flex a little bit and kind of show his stuff and hit a finisher and get a win. Good looking outing. 3 check marks. And we're moving on. Butcher and the Blade defeating Jersey Muscle. Jersey Muscle, nice to see an established team. And they did a good job putting over the Butcher and the Blade's gimmick. And Bunny there at ringside with them. Butcher and Blade win this match definitively. They start to beat on Jersey Muscle extra. And then Jersey Muscle bailed out by Dustin Rhodes and QT. We had a nice little moment where QT and Bunny sort of met eyes like, what the hell? I liked it. I'm going to give this 3 check marks. Will Hobbs defeated D3. Will Hobbs, the push continues. Not much to speak about here. Will Hobbs still seeming like he's trying to decide on a finisher. Is it a power slam? Is it a spine buster? We don't know. But Will Hobbs wins. Decisive fashion. D3, I think, has done a really good job since he's been here. Almost my enhancement talent of the week, but not quite. 3 check marks. A combination of the Dark Order against Nick Komoroto, who I really like a lot, and I have a feeling they're going to use this guy a lot, a la Shawn Dean. I think they're going to continue to bring him back because he's a little bigger. He's got kind of a cool look about him. And Baron Black, not much to say about this match. I'm going to give it 2 check marks only because, again, it's another really forgettable match. I think the regulars who watch AEW Dark really loved this show. I'm coming from the perspective of my personal taste, of course, but then also from the perspective of what if I'm somebody watching for the first time? And there's a bunch of matches here that didn't stand out in the least, and this was one of them. Just being honest, 2 check marks. That's something Dark is going to have to deal with. If they're going to continue to have these 15-match motherfucking marathons that are 2 hours or more, man, they're going to have to throw in more promos. They're going to have to throw in more surprises. They're going to have to give us a little bit of spice. Like having Max Caster rap helps a lot. I mean, they got to do a lot of little things like that and have little plots going on. I thought the vignette that they had with it was very silly, but at least it was something, right? When you had the once librarian, now that he's lost the match to Brandon, now he's going, he kind of did the Continental style promo, and he's now pretty Peter Avalon. So where's Leva Bates going to end up, by the way? I'm definitely interested to see that. Now, we had another Dark Order match, 3 of them, including Colt Cabana against Shawn Dean, Cesar Bononi, who's big dude, and Fuego de Sol, who gets used frequently in the Being the Elite videos and things like that. So the joke is, and Fuego de Sol is going to be the one who gets pinned. Shawn Dean really stood out. Now, Cesar Bononi is a really big guy, and he got to do his big guy shit. And Fuego de Sol is a guy who gets a lot of attention outside of Dark. But nonetheless, Shawn Dean found a way to stand out. Man, the guy, and apparently this was his 19th appearance. Fucking good for you, Shawn Dean. You are one of our performers of the week. The Dark Order defeated them. However, I'm going to give this 3 check marks. And then, in a match that surprised me because of the outcome and who was involved, KiLynn King defeats Lei'd Tapa. Lei'd Tapa, former badass bitch at Impact/TNA, and who I booked to help put over one of our top female stars at Platinum Championship Wrestling. I love Lei'd Tapa. She's got a great attitude. She's good here on AEW Dark, and she puts over KiLynn King, who wins with a top rope splash. KiLynn King looking every bit the star. KiLynn King, I'm afraid you can't win Enhancement Talent of the Week, as you've done many, many times, because I don't think of you as Enhancement Talent no more. At least not in this match. Really cool, 3 check marks, awesome stuff. We'll see how many times they use Lei'd Tapa. Private Party against the Chaos Project. Private Party, coming off of that tag match where they basically crushed dude's head and knocked him out. So going against Chaos Project, who are very solid, like Luther and Serpentico, are going to be able to carry anybody through. Private Party, this match, they definitely toned it down a little bit, and I think that that's in order. And they pick up the win. Nothing spectacular. 3 check marks, however. And then in our de facto main event, I say de facto because it's kind of strange, Lee Johnson, who's 0-11, and a new member of the Nightmare family, taking on Sammy Guevara, who defeats him, gives him something, but then defeats him rather handily. It's a very strange match to have last, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Lee Johnson, obviously favored nation status, looks good. 3 check marks for this match. So at the end of the day, Shawn Dean is our performer of the week in defeat, but there's a couple other notable things. The improvement of Brian Pillman Jr., the continuing good stuff from Griff Garrison, Elayna Black, Layla Hirsch, etc., etc. And KiLynn King picking up a win, which made me personally very happy. In any case, this has been Stephen Platinum with Platinum versus AEW Dark.